solar explosions originate from. In fact, the magnetic fields that come up into the corona that we see during the total solar eclipse originate from those sunspots.
Yeah. Actually, this sunspot had a solar flare yesterday.
Right, and I believe this is coming from Carbondale. So that's now it's why is it purple? Is that what's the color?
That's actually the light and the color of the light in the filter. The color is a bluish light, and so it comes out as a purple color. But it is a type of visible light. It's one we look at quite often from both space and the ground and look in the sun.
Now I see some black thingies, look like a little river. You see it over there in the corner on the left?
Yeah, that's the sunspots.
Now, what's a sunspot, just for our audience here? Those
are the regions where most of the space weather actually originates, the solar flares, the coronal mass ejections, are regions of the sun that have very complicated magnetic fields. And these are where most of the magnetic energy is actually released.
Right, so those are regions of super intense magnetic field, 1,000 times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field. And those have lots of energy and they drive space weather.
Okay, I think that's why we didn't get the Nebraska feed right now. Those things cause that, I think, right?
That's right. We're getting a little glitch.
Hopefully we get Nebraska. Okay, Sean, we're going back over to you. Talk about moon shattering.
That's right, Dwayne. We've got some really incredible imagery for you. This is again from the GOES-16 weather satellite just launched last year by NASA for our friends at NOAA. And what you're seeing in the western portion of this image is actually the moon's shadow being cast over parts of the path of totality. And of course, you see the cloud cover across the U.S. as well. And as I was telling you earlier, it's actually looking pretty good for most of the western parts of the U.S. that are in the path of totality. Not so good for maybe parts of the central U.S. Where we've got some thunderstorm activity developing and expected to develop later today, this afternoon, for places like Nebraska, parts of Nebraska and Missouri and northern Illinois, so maybe north of Carbondale, and then gets better again as you see in terms of cloud cover as we move further east toward Charleston here. But here in Charleston, we still have some breaks in the cloud. Where the sun is, it's still obscured, but we are able to actually see some of the partial eclipse here in Charleston through some of the breaks in cloud. But again, really wanted to show you guys that imagery from GOES-16 satellite from NOAA showing you the moon's shadow actually being cast over parts of the western United States right now. With that, Dwayne, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Thanks, Sean. Now, as a reminder, our broadcast is tracking the total solar eclipse as it crosses the United States. It's moving along a path of totality. That's a 70-mile wide path sweeping across the entire nation. Over 12 million people live inside the path of totality. Plus, it's estimated that close to 7 million people have traveled to cities within the path of totality. I know that today is truly a day of celebration as people gather in cities and festivals to view today's celestial event. So let's get into the cultural impact here, guys. Alex, what's your take on the cultural impact of these eclipses?
Well, you know, this is really such a fantastic opportunity to connect the nation and, in fact, the world with one of nature's most amazing celestial events. And this is something that we, as working at NASA, are really excited to be able to share. And in fact, we've even worked with some of our colleagues in other parts like the U.S. Postal Service.
Yes, the U.S. Postal Service actually created a special stamp for this event.
Right. So what I want to do, let's talk about the stamp.
Sure.
But generate Charleston, Nebraska, the sunspots are gone, so let's go to Nebraska. Vince Whitfield, are you there?
Hi, we're at the Homestead National Monument of America. This is a great location to watch the eclipse, and we've staked out a good spot here on the prairie. Even though the weather isn't cooperating, this is still an excellent event. We're also very prepared. Please make sure to use your protective glasses when viewing the eclipse wherever you are. You can cause serious damage to your eyes if you don't take precautions while watching. And there are a lot of people watching. As you can tell, the festivities, just like the eclipse, are in full swing. I'm joined by Chief Park Ranger Susan Cook.
Hey Vince, how are you?
Great, Susan. Thanks for joining me today. Please tell us about this amazing place and what's going on behind us.
Well, we are at Homestead National Monument of America. We are a national park site dedicated to telling the story of homesteading. 30 states, 4 million people, 10% of the United States was homesteaded. The head of household, anybody could own land as long as you could be a U.S. citizen. You got 160 acres. It's how we settled the West. We built our democracy, we built our economy, settling the West through this law.
That is just so interesting. Now, I understand the Mayan calendar followed the solar eclipse calendar closely. Is that correct?
It did. The ancient Mayan used several different calendars to organize their secular and spiritual lives. Many of these calendars had strong roots in the motions of celestial objects, especially the sun and the moon. And the Hub calendar is a solar calendar of 365 days, subdivided into 18 months of 20 days, plus 1 month of 5 days. Another calendar is a Tzolk'in, made of 260 days, subdivided into 13 months of 20 days. This calendar also has a resonance with eclipses, which occur about every 173 days. Every 3 sequences of eclipses aligns every 2 cycles of the Tzolk'in. Who could keep track of that, frankly?
It's just amazing. Now, as a Chief Park Ranger, I have to congratulate you. This is a fantastic venue. Tell us about some of the activities you have planned.
Well, actually, right now you can feel it getting darker, but we have stage performances going on. We have many NASA scientists. You can learn about planetary defense, how we defend our world. You have NASA scientists doing other things. We have Native Americans. We have a Mayan Calendar Sky program. We have folk music. We have all sorts of fiddle music.
Lots going on.
Lots of things. Balloon launches. So there's things all around us. It's really exciting and a lot of fun.
Got to say, the amount going on here, Susan, is incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. And we're lucky enough to be joined by a real NASA scientist. Let me introduce you to Dr. Nikki Fox.
Hi, Vince. How are you today?
Great, Nikki. Thanks for joining us. Nikki is a space weather expert and a mission project scientist on NASA's Parker Solar Probe program. Thanks so much for joining us, Nikki. Today is a great day for you. Tell us why.
Well, today I'm really excited. This is my first ever solar eclipse, and it's the only chance that we can see the corona with our naked eye. And I'm particularly excited because I'm working on NASA's Parker Solar Probe mission, and we are going to fly into the corona. So if the clouds part here, you'll be able to see where our mission is flying.
That's just incredible. Now, how close will you get to the sun?
We will get to within 4 million miles, and I know that doesn't sound terribly close, but if I put the Earth and the sun apart on a football field, then we would be at the 4-yard line.
That's just amazing. Now, for you watching at home, that's kind of like traveling from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia in about 1 second. Just incredible speeds. Now, how can you be so close to the sun and not burn up?
So we have a wonderful heat shield, but we also, the technology, it's been 60 years since this mission was first thought of, and it's only now that technology has caught up with our dreams.
That's just amazing. Now, it looks like we're coming up to the moment of totality here on the prairie. What are some of the things we should be looking for?
So if it clears, you should see a beautiful corona, and that it looks like a pearly, hazy crown around the sun. And in fact, it's called a corona because that's Latin for crown. And then as it's going beautifully dark here, it's becoming twilight. You hear everyone going crazy here. You should be able to start seeing stars, and we can actually see 4 planets. This time you should see Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, and Venus all in this night sky during the day. So it's just an amazing, amazing experience. And if you can't see the corona, I do have a map of it here. This is a 3D print that was done for me, and it looks exactly, it's a predict of what the corona looks like today. So if it's cloudy, here's your corona.
Now, it looks like the moment of totality is upon us. Let's just let the guys at home have a few moments to take in the sights and sounds of the crowd as totality happens on the prairie.
Oh, wow. And you can see the corona, and I may cry, but you can see the corona. So now you're seeing this wonderful hazy atmosphere. I don't need my glasses now, Vince, because we are in totality.
Wow.
And so this is the only time that it's safe to look. But right now you can see that hazy ring. That is the chromosphere. It is looking a little bit sort of reddish. And you just see there's those red wisps are little prominences that are coming away from the sun.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we can't quite see the stars yet because of the clouds. But my goodness, you can see the corona, and that is an absolutely incredible, incredible sight.
This is just magnificent.
It really is. Everything's kind of, well, other than the people hooting and hollering here, everything else has gone quiet. The animals think it's nighttime. There's this amazing sort of twilight view all around us. And just look at that corona. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yep. And the moon is going to continue. We've got about 2 minutes, 35 seconds of this amazing view. And then here we come. Here comes the diamond ring. So it is glasses on again time. Glasses on. And here it comes. There's the diamond ring. And that is the most spectacular sight.
That's amazing.
That is just incredible. And of course, the diamond ring you see because the moon is not a totally smooth sphere. And so you're seeing little spots of light peeping out between the craters on the moon. And my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm so excited. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's hard to convey the excitement of the energy. There are 10,000 people on the prairie here at the Homestead National Monument of America, and the energy is just amazing.
And they've been here, a lot of them have been here since 6 o'clock this morning, and the atmosphere has been incredible. Everybody is happy, and it has just been amazing.
That's just amazing.
Wow.
Okay, Nikki, let's bring you over to this side. It looks like the moment of totality has passed us here.
Yes.
Now, what should we be watching for in the moments after totality?
In the moments after totality, you will start to see again the Bailey's beads. So we did see that diamond ring, and I got super excited. But as the moon continues now to pass away, you'll start to see the solar surface come back. It's becoming light again. If we had any roosters here, they would actually be crowing. So it's just been it's amazing, and you'll start to see the sun coming back. And I don't know, I always think what it would have been like if you didn't know the sun was going to come back. You just thought it was disappearing, but here comes the sun again. So it's a wonderful, wonderful day here on the prairie.
That's wonderful. Nikki, what an amazing experience.
Yes.
Thanks so much for talking us through that.
I wouldn't be anywhere else, Vince. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What a great experience, everybody. That is amazing. Now, it looks like things are starting to calm down here on the prairie, but that doesn't mean the show is over. Our coverage of the path of totality continues across the entire path. So, let's go ahead and send it back to NASA's Eclipse Central.
Thank you, Vince. It was well worth the wait, my friend. We were a little delayed there, but my goodness. Jody, did you see that? I mean...
That was amazing. Do you see that diamond ring?
That was, it was even more prominent there.
It was very prominent. You could see like the ray of light, like very, very nice, and the whole diamond around the whole surface. It was amazing.
And Alex, it got really dark. I mean,
It really did. That's actually enjoyed seeing them out on that prairie and seeing. It looked like she was in some sort of weird, strange light, and she was lit up, and everything behind her was dark. It was really cool.
fantastic. Nebraska, you rocking the house. We really, really appreciate that. But like Vince said, there's a lot more to come, and we got the International Space Station. Don't forget. So, Jody, I want to go back. We had to bring in those images, but we were talking about, and you mentioned the stamp. Now, the United States Post Service, they do amazing work.
They do.
But they really outdid themselves this time. Go ahead and finish.
They did. They actually created a special stamp for this event. It's actually a thermochromic stamp, which means that it gets activated by heat, and you're actually looking at it now in your images. This stamp, if you put your thumb into the center, it will actually make the moon surface appear, or any type of heat that you apply to it. It's an amazing stamp, and I got mine yesterday thanks to Dwayne.
And it's thermochromic?
Thermochromic, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow.
It means it gets activated by the heat.
Yeah, heat of your thumb. And I bet you they sold a lot of those stamps.
Oh, they did. They sold out online originally right away. So it was quite a popular one. It's the first time the U.S. has ever used that type of ink.
Okay, so we have seen some pretty cool images. Still got some more to come.
Yeah.
The diamond has been prominent. Let's go over to social and see how things are going. John.
Thanks, Dwayne. We're continuing to look up here in Charleston, South Carolina, because there are some clouds here, and we're excited. That excitement we want to have here too as well. Just a couple of quick interesting things. This is the biggest live stream event ever measured on NASA.gov. The web traffic is accounting for 87% of all federal web traffic, which is pretty amazing, showing that people are really, really tuning into our broadcast here. As of 1:40 p.m., 4.4 million people in climbing were watching this broadcast. So the interest across the country is obvious here, and we're going to continue to show you some amazing live views. This one right here is, again, another photo of the space station taken by Bill Ingalls in Washington, one of our photographers here at NASA. Next thing, I have a video from another photographer, one of our other photographers, as the space station transits. You can see it there. If you're looking closely, you can see the space station transiting the sun during the partial eclipse. Pretty spectacular. Again, that's 250 miles per hour, that space station. And you have to be, 250 miles above the Earth, 17,500 miles per hour. You have to be taking a lot of different shots pretty fast to capture that. So nice job, Joel.
Okay, so let's go to Jefferson City. The moon shadow is continuing to pass over the United States in this remarkable celestial event. Our next stop on the path, as I said, of totality is Jefferson City, Missouri. We're going to hand off to meteorologist Eric Aldrich, who is a professor in atmospheric science at the University of Missouri. He has some special guests to help explain two important impacts solar activity can have on humans and the technologies we use. Over to you, Eric.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, we are live in Jefferson City, Missouri. Jefferson City is actually the state capital, and as you can see behind me, there's a lot of people that are here. It's been a whole weekend type of thing, Saturday, Sunday, and of course here on Monday, lots of family-friendly things. There's been corn mazes, there's been 5K runs, there's a lot of good food. Too bad you can't smell the food, but there's a lot of good food that's here as well, and just a very nice weekend. The weather has been perfect. We've had some showers and thunderstorms off to the west all morning. We've had a few high clouds kind of stream on in, but certainly things are looking really good. I am lucky to be joined here by two special people that are going to be talking about space weather and just how things work in space. Dr. Janet Kavandi, thank you so much. You are the director of the NASA Glenn Research Center in Cleveland.
Great.
You're also a three-time shuttle astronaut.
That's right.
And you are actually from Springfield, Missouri.
I am.
Welcome home.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Well, great.
Yeah.
So now, we've been talking a lot about safety, and obviously you don't want to look right up at the sun.
Not without these.
That's right.
Right.
And so we all have some, so that's good. But what about the astronauts that are up in space? What is there to help keep the astronauts safe from the solar radiation and so on and so forth?
Well, for their eyes, we know that they know that certain windows they should not look out of because there's no protection. Other windows have protection on them that help shield their eyes, but also there's other kinds of radiation like protons that come from the sun, heavier particles that can cause damage to our cells, and we try to shield the astronauts as best we can because they're above the atmosphere. We're shielded here by the atmosphere quite a bit, but above that you don't have that natural shielding, so we have to do it with metal in the vehicle and then some water bags around the sleep station so that they can sleep surrounded by water, and that also helps absorb some of that radiation.
Okay. Now, we also are kind of excited about space communications, and that's certainly another special research area. And so also with me here today is Dr. Tamitha Skov. Now, you're from the Aerospace Corporation in Los Angeles, so welcome to Central Missouri.
Thank you.
Now, you're also a space meteorologist, and you are also referred to as the space weather woman.
I am.
Right? So I've been intrigued by this. What exactly does a space weather woman do?
Well, most people don't realize that the sun actually has its own unique weather that comes from it. And those solar eruptions that come from the sun, they actually hit Earth and cause issues for us. So I actually do a weekly broadcast, weather predictions, just like you do, like a meteorologist, that talks about when these events hit Earth and the types of issues that they cause for things like communications, like GPS and other systems.
Okay, now we're just about 15 seconds away, actually, I believe, from totality.
Put our glasses on.
So we're going to put our glasses on. You can hear the crowd cheering in the background, and it is getting dark.
We're getting close to Bailey Beach. Here we go. We're almost at totality.
And
you can see
here we
Bailey
go.
Beach is almost a diamond ring right there. And there we go. I think we're at totality. So now you can take your glasses off.
That is amazing.
You can actually see the corona a little bit even through the clouds.
That is incredible. Now, Dr. Kavandi, you've been in space. You've seen numerous sunrises and sunsets from the space shuttle. How does this event compare?
Oh, this is completely different than anything I've seen before. I never saw an eclipse. I've seen a partial, but nothing like this. This is really unique and nothing like I saw in space. Space has this really cool visuals, but this is really amazing.
And I'm starting to hear the crickets. They're starting to come on out. Obviously, the street lamps. This is just amazing. Now, I'm also looking up to try to find the Big Dipper and some of the other stars, some of the other planets.
Not for the clouds, likely.
Right.
And I'm really mesmerized by this. This This is a spectacular event. We've had several solar storms that have been launched, and some of them have been launched from the left side of the sun. So we're actually seeing a difference from what the corona looked like in our predictions to what it looks like now. And then on top of that, we have ham radio operators all over the state right now who are making contacts that they haven't been able to make because the upper atmosphere is just all turbulent right now, and it affects the communication signals. So we've got GPS operators and ham radio operators doing a ton of science, and it's just it's overwhelming.
This is amazing. Now, my team of atmospheric science researchers from the University of Missouri, they are actually sending up weather balloons here this afternoon to try to figure out how the weather is changing at certain height levels. And actually, here's a map of the solar radiation throughout the state of Missouri, and you can kind of see how much solar radiation is hitting the surface of the earth here in Missouri. Just interesting. This is amazing.
It is. You can tell the crowd is just mesmerized. This is so cool. And you can even see the dips in the valleys as you can see little areas of the sun where it's shining through more.
Right, and those create the Bailey beads that we see as we get out of totality, which is coming up here pretty soon.
Right.
Not quite yet, though.
Yeah, I think we come out of totality at 1:15:35 local time, and so we just have a few more seconds of that. Absolutely an amazing event. And again, we're so lucky that some of these high clouds were able to kind of
fall apart.
Kind of fall apart a little bit so we could experience this.
For us, yes. And I can't believe we can actually see the corona through the clouds.
Great.
Okay, that's the air horn. We're coming out of totality. We're going to have to end up going.
So we need to put our safety
In just
glasses back on.
there we go. Put your Bailey beads. There we go. We got to put the glasses back on. Oh my goodness.
So, as you can see, we're coming out of totality here in Jefferson City, Missouri. Ladies, thank you so much for experiencing this with me.
Thank you. Quite an experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, everyone's excited here in Jefferson City, Missouri. The sun's starting to come out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and send it back to Charleston.
We should have stayed.
Thanks, Eric. Yadi, wow.
It's an amazing, I get goosebumps every time I see this. And so I cannot imagine how it's going to be, when we actually see it here in South Carolina.
I mean, so Alex, I'm speechless, man. I mean, as a scientist, you gotta love this stuff, right?
Oh my God, and it's so great to hear them. I mean, I love hearing an experienced astronaut talk about how overwhelming it is, given the amazing things that she has seen. But also to hear my colleague, Tamitha Scove, who is also a heliophysicist and a space weather expert, I can hear the excitement in her voice. I mean, it's palpable. It's just great.
Okay. So check this out, guys. I mean, I think things are going so smooth. We're going to go to another image right now from Hopkins Girl. Brian Massey out there from Marshall Space Flight Center. What's going on? You got some action there. Hopkinsville. There it is.
That's beautiful. They're getting close.
Now, it's yellow. Is that, we had purple, does that mean something there?
Well, the previous one we saw that was purple was calcium K. It was a blue kind of light. This is actually more of a white light, continuous. Yeah. But the thing to remember is sometimes the different filters you use will change the color just a little bit. But what we're seeing here is really more visible, broader spectrum white light.
Okay. White light.
Let me, John, you gotta have some cool stuff on social media.
This is a good question, guys. Mark from Facebook's asking, and this is what really applies right now. When observing the moon at night, I see it proceed from eastern to western horizon, much like the sun does. How come the solar eclipse is traveling from west to east across the U.S.?
Well, again, that's because when we're looking at the moonrise, that's actually because of our location on the Earth and the fact that the Earth is rotating from west to east. The same reason that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But the moon itself is moving in the same direction the Earth is rotating, and it's casting that shadow down on the Earth, and that is moving in the direction that both the moon is orbiting and the Earth is rotating. So from west to east.
Okay, so the total eclipse has now passed over half the country. It's currently over Illinois, and I think we're going to have some views coming up shortly. But what I really want to do here, guys, is this has been really incredible. I want to give a shout out to the College of Charleston. Make some noise. we're loving it here. So now we've got live video coming to us from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. It's a small town that's known for southern hospitality, like Charleston, and it's also a prime spot for viewing this total solar eclipse. Hopkinsville is the city with the longest duration of the total solar eclipse, for a total of 2 minutes and 40 seconds of totality. NASA's Monster Space Flight Center, Brian Massey, I'm so excited. What you got, man?
Dwayne, we're just as excited as you are. We are here in Eclipseville. Say hello, everybody. Oh, we're having a great time. I'm surrounded by 1,000 of my best friends. We're getting ready. It's starting to get a little darker already. We're also joined here by NASA Marshall planetary scientist Renee Weber. Renee, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. It's really great to be here. I just want to say thank you to the city of Hopkinsville for having us out on this beautiful farm in Kentucky. And we're just all really excited.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun. The light's starting to fade and the excitement's getting bigger. We are at the point of greatest eclipse here at Hopkinsville. Renee, tell us a little bit, what's the significance of that?
Well, the point of greatest eclipse is actually a point in time when the axis of the moon's shadow is pointed most directly towards the center of the Earth. So we are at the point on the surface of the Earth where that time occurs.
Exactly. The shadow will actually be more circular here than anywhere else in the country, correct?
That's right. And it's getting really dim, and we are just so close. It's incredible.
Yeah, this is amazing. We can't wait to break out in the darkness. We've got our glasses out. We've been looking up at it. You can see now on the screen our live telescope view, and this is just amazing. Everybody is really enjoying it. We've got people from all over Kentucky, people from all over the world have joined us here, as this is Eclipseville, USA, and we are just a few minutes away from totality. But before we get to that point, Renee, tell us, you're a planetary scientist and you specialize in the moon, a lunar scientist. How does the eclipse really speak to what you do?
Well, it is pretty cool to look up there, and when you're seeing that sun get dimmer and dimmer, it's because the moon is up there. Right. And I like to tell everyone that you're really looking at the moon when you're watching a solar eclipse, and it's just getting dim, and it's starting to get a lot cooler too. Yeah, it's incredible.
Crazy. This is my first solar eclipse. Renee, have you ever experienced one?
This is my first total eclipse too. I've seen partial eclipses, but I've never had a chance to see totality before, and I'm just so excited.
It's amazing. The light is starting to fade as the moon steps in front of the sun here, and it's already just a really eerie feeling here, getting dark in the middle of the day, but we're really excited about it, and we're just a few seconds away. I've lost my counter, but I'm going to look back at the sun while I still have the opportunity. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. We're down to just a thin sliver of the sun. Renee, what do you think about this?
I can't believe it. It looks incredible, and it really is starting to get dim, and nobody even needs their sunglasses, just your eclipse glasses, and you can see that beautiful crescent sun.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing.
We're just really looking forward to that for a chance. We got no clouds here in the sky, and you can see some airplanes up there, but that sun is just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it's definitely a Hopkinsville, Kentucky Chamber of Commerce sponsored day here in Eclipseville. There's not a cloud in the sky, and it's amazing how it's gotten so much cooler here since the sun started covering up started being covered.
Yeah, it's nice to have a break from that hot southern sun.
Yeah, definitely. We've been sweating it out a couple days here in Hopkinsville getting ready for this.
We're getting really close now.
So what exactly are we looking at here, Renee?
Well, we're just about close to 100%. It's just getting smaller and smaller, and it's getting dimmer and dimmer, and hopefully soon we'll have a chance to see those Bailey's beads and that diamond ring. Right. That's when you can actually see the light shining through the moon's valleys. The moon's not a perfectly smooth sphere. It's got that rugged surface, and you can see those sun rays shining through those mountains and valleys and craters.
Wow.
It's looking like we're about 1 minute out now, and it's just getting smaller and smaller.
Wow, this is amazing.
The crowd's getting really excited too.
Hey guys, who back there is excited for the solar eclipse? Wow, it's getting closer.
Wow. It's just getting really close to nighttime. It's incredible. It's like very dim.
Definitely it feels like dawn or dusk here in Hopkinsville right now as it's getting closer.
Sisters, come on! And you can see on our feed, there's that tiny little sliver left to go. And it's really starting to get dark now. Wow. It's
Goodness
like dust.
gracious.
And you can see the pink color around the horizon. Oh, it's like a sunset. It's beautiful. It's going. It's going. Just that tiny last sliver. Oh my goodness.
And we are in total solar eclipse, and this is absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, you can see the corona, that beautiful white wispy crown coming out from the sun in all directions. And we can see airplanes, and I think I see Jupiter in the sky over there. I think I can see Jupiter.
Wow.
And I see other planets too, and stars.
I can only imagine in ancient times what this must have been like.
I know.
Out of nowhere. I am covered in head to toe in goosebumps. A complete chill.
I know, I am too. I just can't believe we finally got a chance to see it. I mean, it's one thing to read about it, but it's another thing when you get to see it yourself with your own eyes.
Guys, we're going to take a break here just a second. We're going to step back and fully enjoy this and hope you enjoy our feed on the telescope. Wow, here in Eclipseville, it has definitely lived up to
And now
its
we're getting
name.
that diamond
Here we
ring
go.
on the
We've
way
got
out.
it coming back. The moon is stepping aside
And
from the
now,
sun. It's getting
totality's over.
brighter. Totality has finished here at Hopkinsville. Wow, that was absolutely amazing, Renee. Can you even try to put it in words?
I can. I mean, I just have goosebumps all over my body.
Wow, this is amazing. We can see the birds flying around in the
we can
distance.
see the sun starting to come out and it's getting bright again.
This is amazing.
It's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Until the next eclipse
Yeah,
that we'll
exactly.
have only 6 years away. We get to see it again.
Wow, we'll be there.
Yeah.
We will be making
Without
our
a
way.
doubt. I think I'm hooked. I'm an addict.
We have sat in meetings preparing for this for the last 2 or 3 months, and now that it's actually here, it's completely 100% lived up to its billing, and I can't imagine, I can't believe what just happened.
It was just amazing. We were so worried about the weather and the the broadcast and making sure our telescope was set up and everything went smooth, and we just had a blast.
Wow, this has been absolutely amazing. Folks, we have really enjoyed it. It's been a great time here at Hopkinsville, here at Eclipseville, USA. Now time for us to send it back to Clarksville, Tennessee, where our good friend Chris Blair is standing by for their reaction to the eclipse. Chris?
But I think he meant Charleston, not Clarksville. So let's bring it back here at Eclipse Central. There's only one Eclipse Central, and it's here in Charleston. Yeah, okay, so the hits just keep on coming through the eyes of NASA. Now, let's continue. Now, these are going to be pre-recorded views from the high-altitude WP-57 aircraft. They saw high above the clouds that could potentially block the views of today's eclipse. And they're chasing the total solar eclipse. They're mid-wing, long-range aircraft used to conduct high-altitude research. So let's go to these pre-recorded views.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What are we seeing here, Alex?
So right now we're looking at these specially fitted cameras. They're on the nose cone of the WB-57, and